For some background information, a study in 2018 found that over half of American adults reported to drinking regularly, and 1 in 7 pregnant people reported drinking alcohol as well. And out of that 1 in 7, 40% of them reported binge drinking, which includes more than 3 drinks in one sitting. We know that alcohol is a known carcinogen, and pregnant people affect not only themselves but their infant if they drink. This can result in preterm births, stillbirths, birth defects, and even miscarriages. Some of those birth defects include fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, which include fetal alcohol syndrome, and this is expected to affect 1 to 5% of first graders in the U.S.
Hello, my name is Heaven Martinez, and today I'll be discussing the risks associated with drinking alcohol during pregnancy and how it can affect fetal development. From physical issues to long-term cognitive and behavioral challenges, we'll go over why health experts recommend complete abstinence from alcohol during pregnancy. To start, let's talk about the general impact of alcohol consumption. When alcohol is consumed, it crosses the placenta, meaning it reaches the developing fetus. Unlike adults, a fetus processes alcohol much more slowly, so the effects are often more intense. Drinking alcohol during pregnancy can have severe consequences for the baby, impacting their physical growth, cognitive abilities, and behavior. While some may wonder if a small amount is okay, the safest approach is to avoid alcohol altogether during pregnancy. One of the most well-known outcomes of prenatal alcohol exposure is fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, or FASDS. FASDS represents a group of conditions that can occur in individuals whose mothers drink alcohol during pregnancy. These can include physical abnormalities, learning disabilities, and various behavioral challenges. The most severe form is known as fetal alcohol syndrome, or FAS, which can lead to growth restrictions, facial deformities, and significant neurological issues. Alcohol exposure in utero is especially harmful to the developing brain. When a mother drinks alcohol, it can cross into the fetus bloodstream, where it impacts brain cells. The risks to the brain include microcephaly, or small head size, as well as other structural brain abnormalities. These changes often result in long-term challenges with memory, learning, and behavior. Even small amounts of alcohol can affect how a child learns and develops later in life. Some physical growth and development risks are, in addition to brain development, alcohol can also restrict physical growth. Babies exposed to alcohol in the womb are often smaller and may have a lower birth weight. These growth restrictions can be more severe with higher or more frequent alcohol use. Alcohol can also lead to specific physical abnormalities, often include facial differences and growth deficiencies. Overall, prenatal alcohol exposure can impact a child's physical health from birth and onward. Alcohol use during pregnancy also increases the risk of premature birth, stillbirth, and miscarriage. The higher or more frequent the alcohol consumption, the greater the risk. These outcomes can lead to severe complications, as preterm babies often have additional health challenges, and miscarriage, of course, results in a loss of the pregnancy. It's crucial to recognize that these are the risks associated with alcohol use during pregnancy. Alcohol can affect the development of various organs, including the heart, kidneys, and the eyes. Many children with FASDS have congenital heart defects and may experience impairments in their vision and hearing. The extent of organ damage depends on the amount of alcohol exposure and when it occurs during pregnancy. These physical challenges can require ongoing medical support and interventions throughout the child's life. Some long-term developmental challenges include, in addition to physical risks, children exposed to alcohol in utero may face long-term developmental challenges. Many struggle with behavioral issues like ADHD or difficulties with social interactions. Learning disabilities are also common, affecting academic performance and sometimes leading to lifelong struggles with independence and daily functioning. These development issues underscore the far-reaching impact of alcohol exposure during pregnancy. Some key takeaways what are some key takeaways? The medical consensus is that there's no safe amount of alcohol during pregnancy. The specific threshold of harm is unknown, and even small amounts can potentially impact the fetus. Therefore, complete abstinence from alcohol is the safest choice. And for those who may have consumed alcohol before realizing they were pregnant, the best action is to stop immediately and consult with a healthcare provider. Lastly, it is important to know that resources are available. If you have questions or concerns about alcohol exposure during pregnancy, reaching out to a healthcare provider is a great first step. There are also support services and consulting available for parents and families dealing with FASDs. Organizations like the CDC and the WHO provide reliable information and further regarding on this topic. Thank you for your attention, and I hope this presentation has clarified the risk of alcohol use during pregnancy and the importance of avoiding it entirely for the health of both the mother and the child.
Hi, I am Trinity, and now that we've gotten into some background information on risk factors, let's get into health behaviors. So drinking alcohol and smoking are just a couple of negative health behaviors that are associated with pregnancy. They aren't just risky for you as a mother, but also for the baby, because they can cross the placental barrier and directly affect the baby. This can lead to low development issues that we previously talked about in the last slide. Some may talk about and mention safe levels of consumption. However, there is no safe level of consumption. This means no matter the amount that you drink or that you may smoke, it can directly affect the baby. It is important that we try to avoid, which is why it is important we try to avoid this entirely. Let's talk about some health behaviors. Taking prenatal vitamins, attending regular checkups, following diet and exercise plans, and staying hydrated, and managing stress are just a couple examples of these. Now, I know these may sound simple, and skipping one or two may not seem like it'll do anything, but just doing the simple things can always make a huge difference. The best way to stay on track with these health behaviors is taking a strong stance and reflecting on what a healthy pregnancy means to you. Camila will be further getting into this topic in the next slide.
Hi everyone, my name's Camila, and I'm going to be going over how to take a stance on this issue. So by now we've gone over the background information, we've gone over health behaviors, and now we're going to be talking a little bit about how to take a stance on this issue. So a good way to put a stop to this health behavior is to be able to explore your values and know what it means for you to not be able to drink. So a good way for you to do this is to be able to reflect on your reasons for being pregnant, whether it is because you want to or because you want to form a family. It is very important for you to put yourself and your baby first and be able to determine for you what's best for you and your baby, and that should be not drinking, because that is putting your baby first. Another really good way for you to reflect upon yourself and what's best for the both of y'all is to be able to determine or to reflect on what being alcohol free means for you. Is it because you're keeping your baby safe? Is it because it's a personal goal for you to not be able to drink for 9 months? It's just it's very important to be able to explore your values, to take it, because that would be step one, and that would be a really good way for you to be able to determine, how do I want to proceed with this? How do I want to go about this? And how does this help me achieve the goal of not drinking while pregnant? Another really good way to be able to take a stance on this issue is by having some self-efficacy, and a really good way, and what I would determine to be a really, really good way to be able to do this is to be able to tell yourself by reinforcing your ability to stay alcohol free through positive affirmations. This can be done in the mirror, it can be done in the car, it can be done anywhere, as long as you're telling yourself, hey, I can do this, I'm able to do this, and I will be able to do this because I care for me and my baby's health. This also can be done While journaling, it's really good to be able to jot your feelings down and how you're feeling about things or how you're thinking, because it allows you to actually self-reflect by looking upon what you've written or what you've journaled, and it's a really good way for you to be able to actually put it into words and jot your thoughts together. And it's just a really nice way to be able to like positively affirm yourself that you can do it and that it is achievable. Another good way to be able to like handle this situation would be by role playing right before, or role playing before it actually happens. How do I want to say no? How do I want to go about the situation if someone does offer me alcohol? I think it would be a very good way for you to actually have a little, not necessarily speech, but have a reason ready as to why you are declining the alcohol, whether it is that you want to say you're pregnant, or if you actually want to keep it a secret or not a secret, but you want to keep it a little more private and you want to say, this is actually not the best decision for me right now. A really good way is to just be able to practice before, and that way it really takes the nerves away from having to think of a reason as to why you wouldn't want to drink on the spot, because I know as the people pleaser myself, it can be a little hard to say no. So practicing before scenarios, it's always helpful to really feel secure about saying no on the spot. Another really good way is to be able to create boundaries with people. This can be done in a whole lot of different ways, but it's always very important to be able to say no and to actually take a stance on this and say, hey, you know what? These are my boundaries. This is where I stand with alcohol at the moment. I am actually pregnant and I am deciding to put my baby first. And it is very important for me to be able to stand by this. And these are my boundaries, and I would appreciate it if you could respect those. Creating boundaries can be with your significant other. It can be with your parents or with family or close friends. Like, it's just very important to create boundaries to be able to have a firm response when it comes to people who may not necessarily respect your decision to not drink, or also for people who don't take this matter as seriously as they should. But yeah, so in summary, just remember it's important to take a stance on the issue. The first step to this is to take a stance and be able to determine what it means for you, how you can proceed with this, and then have some self-efficacy. Use one of the 3 methods, or maybe all 3 methods that I've talked about to, be able to like actually put those into practice. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about how to make some non-alcoholic drinks. It's also a very good way to, be able to have a little bit of fun, but with none of the alcohol. And yeah.
Hi, I'm going to speak to you today about non-alcoholic drinks. Our why is that social settings often incite drinking. This is why mocktails are a great way to enjoy a drink, feel included, and all without the guilt and risks of liquor. Some mocktails that we came up with are a mimosa, which is 4 ounces of orange juice with 4 ounces of sparkling cider at brunch. A lemon lavender martini, that sounds amazing. 1 ounce of lemon juice with 1.5 ounces of lavender simple syrup. Shake with ice, dress the rim with sugar, and top with Sprite in a lemon wedge garnish. And our last one will be a margarita, which is 1.5 ounces of lime juice, 1 ounce of orange juice, 1 to 2 teaspoons of agave nectar, and 1/2 cup of sparkling water or club soda. All of these options are great ways to avoid drinking alcohol and can keep you and your baby safe.